admit, I think that the troops Russian troops now in Belarus, which are in peaceful times 3 driving hours away from Kyiv, the capital, that's where we are now. That Putin, despite the cost, and there would be a cost to Russia in attacking all of Ukraine, and despite any cost of what are supposed to be tougher sanctions, that despite all that, he's prepared to go ahead and take everything, I guess, if he needs to. Your thoughts, Ambassador?
Well, I think it's very dangerous that he, in fact, might do that. In fact, I didn't see that interview, but I gather the intelligence chief sort of spilled the beans that they really intend to annex the Donbass as well, as they're following that pattern with Crimea. But look, what's going on here, Jim, has nothing to do with Russia's security. That's just a ruse. That's just a bunch of baloney. What is going on here, for whatever reason, in his own mind and with his colleagues, has decided to try to reassemble the old Russian Soviet Empire. He wants to say he thinks Russian greatness is tied up with influencing and controlling people, at least in Eastern Europe and maybe in all of Europe. That's what the real objective and the real mission is here, and that is not in the American national interest to allow that to happen.
No, the idea that Putin can't sleep well at night without his teddy bear because he's afraid that Eastern Europe is a threat to him, or NATO, which in the entire history of NATO never attacked anything in either Russia, the Soviet Union, or the Warsaw Pact. That apparently is not sufficient for him, and if it requires the Russian combat boot on the necks of tens of millions of Eastern Europeans, well, it's a small price to pay to make Vlad the Impaler feel safe. Steve in San Jose, California, good evening. Put another way, Steve in San Jose, California, good evening. All right, Bob in Battlefield, Missouri, hello.
Good evening. I'm wondering, national news said the other night, a couple nights ago, that gasoline could predictably go up $6 to $7 a gallon. As we know, the middle class and working people cannot. They're not prepared to live on that. What about an emergency SOS letter to the president to start pumping our supplies and oil again, and just tell them what they can do with their supplies?
By supply, you're talking about what, reopening the fracking operations?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, there's a bit of a time lag. It's not like this is just a spigot that you walk over and turn on. Even if we were to reverse all of those Biden administration policies, that would take months, if not years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Ambassador Gilmore.
Yeah, and we're going to have to pay the price for our inattention up to this point. The warning signs have been there for a long time. The invasion that we saw in Moldova and in Georgia, and previously in Ukraine, and the leave behind people in eastern Ukraine. The threats have been apparent for a long time, and we needed to have the American people stand up and be counted. And now the fact is that we're going to end up paying some more gas prices in the short run. But the caller is correct. There's no reason in the world why the Keystone Pipeline ought not to be reopened. A few years ago, America, with its fracking technology, became energy independent. We can supply ourselves and we can supply our allies, and we ought to do it. So that would, of course, take away some of the leverage that Russia has. But in the meanwhile, we're going to have to bite the bullet. And I think that in order to deprive Russia of their power and their influence and their money, we're just going to have to stop buying Russian gas and oil and make sure that our allies stop that also.
Yeah, but short term, there's going to be some pain. You just can't turn that on just with a flick of the switch. Selena in Reading, Pennsylvania. Good evening. We have Selena. Well, all right, we'll start with more calls for Jim Gilmore, former ambassador from the U.S. to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, in just a moment. Dell Technologies President's Day business sale has arrived. For a limited time, save up to 45% 50% on all our latest gear to work from anywhere with fast free shipping. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business, so now's the time for incredible savings on PCs, along with servers, monitors, and docks, all with free shipping and quick installation and setup through Dell Installation Services. Get started by shopping online or contacting your Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. Again, the number to call is 877-ASK-DELL. My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor.